Hey guys, Professor Fatshady here again. This time I've had a couple of requests for people to, I guess, asking for some tips on Ice Climb. This is a skill game in the hard section. It's within the Skills Showcase tab here. And effectively, this is like, they've had a similar skill game to this in other games. It's effectively just a hill climb. This one's themed on ice. I'd always suggest the Pit Viper. That usually goes without saying with the hard difficulty tracks. I've just realised that maybe I'll check the rabbit. Check that in a second. I just went through this and did this reasonably well. The funny thing is, people, if people want tips for this track, I don't think. I mean, I could go through each obstacle one by one, but there's a huge amount of obstacles. What I think is more important is for people to understand a couple of key concepts. The first, remember the track. If you haven't memorized what's next, you don't know what you're trying to prepare for, and maybe don't talk when you're doing it. But yeah, if you haven't memorized this track and know it off by heart, and you don't know exactly what you're transitioning into, you're going to have problems. And I would say that's the first tip, is just make sure you memorize the track. Secondly, this is a hill climb. If you haven't learnt about throttle control, alright? If you haven't learnt that pressing gently or how to maintain your bike without flipping over and doing a backflip when you're, on a slope, you've got no hope. Make sure you learn that technique. Then, what you want to do is learn how to do these little bunny hops here, because there's a number of little sections where you have to do that. Jumps like this. This is always the first one where people tend to fault, mainly because if you hit this at 100%, you usually fail. Guys, it was designed for that reason. They know exactly where you're likely to fail. If you haven't memorized the track, you're going to have a lot of problems. Those little uphill bunny hops, I've taught them in a few places. My previous University of Trials classes covered them off in a fair bit of detail. They call it the ramp hop, where you go from a ramp to a vertical ledge. But yeah, this is so much more about remembering what you've got to do than it is about the technique to do it. I mean, the technique is hugely important. If you don't know how to ride a bike, you're going to have problems here. But if you haven't already memorized what's required, I wouldn't even bother. Certainly wouldn't bother talking too much about platinum medals. Yeah, 100 meters. That's pretty rubbish. But anyway, look, guys, I'm not going to go through. Look, come on. Let's do one more time on the Viper, and then let's go through on the Rabbit, if that Rabbit is even available. The only reason I say Rabbit is because that is very good on hill climbs. But yeah, guys, learn how to steady yourself on a slope like that. Make sure you know how to do it, and just break it down. Just treat them as individual obstacles. Learn how to recover if you stuff up, which I just did there. Remember where the gaps are, fault somewhere 100 times, the 101st time you probably won't have an issue, It's as much about repetition as anything else. One more time. And this is where this becomes less about providing valuable information for you and more just about me saying one more time. Well, I do like this track. Oh, come on. Alright, I'm not going to bore you with that anymore. Let's go and see the rabbit. See if it's possible. This will be interesting. I've never actually done this before. So anyway, if you're watching this just for some tips, you've already seen that. Now this is just me having a bit of fun. Yeah, honestly, I don't think there's much more I can say about this. As much as people want tips on this, this is just about riding good. It's actually the reason why I like skill games like this as opposed to some of the other ones. It isn't just about getting lucky or using an exploit to get certain distance or do something like that. This is proper skill. If you get good at this, you will be good at the game. And that to me is what a skill game should be. Some of the skill games that have been used in the past or in this game, yeah, I could do without them. I think for me a skill game should be about, like they used to have one where you were on fire, and it was about teaching you how to, I guess, keep your momentum and keep a smooth driving line. That taught you more about the game, and I guess Crank in this, I think, is the one. You could argue, I guess it does that, and that to me, I guess, very cool skill games. But let's see. I think I already know where I'm going to have trouble. Not places like that. I'm going to have trouble with some of the bigger jumps. Like there. No. Sad face. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. There may have been something useful in there. I have no idea anymore. But as you can see, actually, look, let's just watch my replay, because I only did this earlier tonight in preparation. Give your idea at the track, but really, it's about memorizing this stuff. And this goes for every track. If you haven't memorized the track, you haven't played it enough. You can't be expecting to get a platinum medal if you haven't memorized the track. It sounds silly. I mean, they're 30 seconds long. It shouldn't be that hard. But yeah, I do find it really important to know what's coming up and know what to know where you regularly fall. Know what you've got. Prepare for each jump, because the preparation of the jump, like the jump beforehand, will, I guess, dictate how you approach the one that comes up after it. And I stupidly sent Shifty Samurai a message after I did this run, because I beat him. And I expect that very quickly I'll get a message back. Check his Twitter. Not yet. But yeah, fully expect to get a message back from him very shortly saying he's beaten me again. This is fun. I really like these skill games. I do need to play around with the customization options, I think. I haven't really bothered with that yet, and I think I need to. So this is about where I got to in the video a second ago. I actually surprised myself at how much better I did. Like that was pure fluke. I shouldn't have ever landed that. And whoever designed this track, horrible person. Wow, I actually made this. I think it's, yeah, so this is, I've only ever made it past this section once. I'm so grumpy when I missed that, because you could see the next sections were doable again. So anyway, guys, there you go. Ice Climb. Hopefully you found something useful there. As always, if there's anything else, let me know. Thanks for watching.